Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الظن لا يغني من الحق شيئا وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إنما بعثت لمكارم الأخلاق كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. We are in Ayyamul Hajj. And alhamdulillah, it happens every year. And we have the benefit, mashallah, alhamdulillah, by the fadl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By living in the Chicagoland area, there is such a wealth of ulama, programs, etc., that are going on throughout the city, the greater Chicagoland area. We have so many opportunities here as far as like education and things, positive things to do, right, that are dhikr related, that mashallah, most places in the country, they don't have this luxury that we do here. So I'm going to take full advantage of it. If I was a resident scholar or the imam or khatib in some other place, I would have to talk specifically about Hajj. Because of the luxury of being in Chicago, I can step out on the outskirts a little bit, inshallah. Yeah, give you something a little different, but the same. The point of Hajj and this Hajj season is actually a blow to the forehead of the secular mind. Every year, it is proof positive that the secular mind is the path to destruction. Every year. Why? The Hujjaj that have left, the understanding, it used to be historical. We talked about this. We had programs, Hajj programs, and all these things, like Dhul Hijjah programs that's leading up to this, right? When the Hujjaj leave, it is supposed with the understanding, I am leaving to go meet my Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Up until this point, from Bayt al-Ma'mur, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been sending malaika down to the Kaaba. From there, they spread out to the masajid. From there, they go to our homes. They come to us. But once in my life, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives me the ability, I am going to go to the Kaaba. But it's not just going, because unfortunately, it's not a vacation. It is not a vacation. Nor should it be treated like a vacation. You can call it an adventure, but mashallah, I was told one time, he says, by a teacher, it says, do you want to understand what, do you understand what the main component of an adventure is? It is the threat of the loss of life. I had never thought about it before. But usually when you had an adventure, usually there was some high level of risk of bad things happening, isn't it? And you get through it and you say like, mashallah, we were on an adventure, right? No problem. So if you want to call Hajj an adventure, beautiful, but it is not a vacation. It is not a social event from the dunyawi perspective. From the akhiri perspective, absolutely. But from a dunyawi perspective, this is not about going to meet people. This is not about going there so I can post on my social media. This is not about taking pictures and buying things to take home to family members because they gave you a Santa list. You got one Santa list for people who want you to pick up something, and you got one Santa list for people who want like okay, because you said something foolish. You said, would you like for me to make a dua for you? And you saw their face lit up, mashallah, as it should, right? And then they're like, I'll get back to you. When are you leaving? And then you start getting all of these like, mashallah, I made this mistake before too. So then you start getting like long list, names and everything, right? Now you're thinking like, oh, Lord, I've just obligated myself to take all of this responsibility. This is an amanat now. So now I'm gonna have to like siphon off a portion of my time just specifically for this thing. But it's not about them. It's about you dying, leaving this dunya, leaving that secular world behind and going to meet your Rabb. Now we can't physically leave this dunya. Or so I say spiritually, we can't feel like you can't leave this dunya. You got rocket ships and whatnot, blah, blah. Yeah, it's still technically you're here. It's just kind of like if I jump up off the ground, you wouldn't say like, mashallah, he left the earth. Okay, same way, collectively, we get a little bit up in the sky and like we're like, we're in the space. No, just calm down, relax. It's a very big thing. You're like jumping up a little bit. Relax, okay? So for the most part, you're not going anywhere. You're definitely not going to physically go meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this life. You can't. You're not Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He's the only one. So how do we do it? We go to the place that Allah Ta'ala had Ibrahim alayhi salam, our father, Abuna. Our father Ibrahim alayhi salam. He said, you build it, and then you make the call, and then I will take care of everything else. So the physical apparatus and everything for us to be able to accomplish this task at hand of going to meet our Rabb in this dunya while we're still alive has been put in place. And it's been facilitated for us every year. Now, the ayah that I mentioned, it comes in two places in the Quran. Inna dhanna la yughni min al-haqqi shay'a. That outskirt of this topic of Hajj, this is where we're going with it. It's that secular mind that is actually corrupting and distorting the understanding of issues within the Muslim community, whether internal, individual, family, community, or global. Because the mind that is processing these events, situations, occurrences, circumstances is corrupted. It is polluted. It is distorted. How do you know? Because that's how we all are until we actually put Islam into practice. And now Islam, by the follow of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, goes through and brings everything back into balance if we do what we're told. It is conditional. That's the reason why when I understand all the fara'id, why this obligation and that obligation, and I can't do this and I can't do that, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is the ultimate tabib, he is the ultimate doctor. Not only does he understand your sickness, not only does he have the cure for your sickness, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us your sickness can't even exist without me. So no matter what you're going through, you need me. Just realize it. Just realize it. So the program even this evening is to do what? To help us to realize it. During this Hajj season, this khutbah, etc., it is about understanding that, look, I am not healthy. The Muslim community is not healthy. Our worldview is not healthy. The way that we establish priorities and make decisions is not healthy. And I just extracted just one manifestation of exactly what the situation is. And that's what we're covering tonight, because it has to do with marriage. Divorce rate, oh, Allahu Akbar kabira. And then on top of that, because it is considered to be taboo within the Muslim community to get a divorce, most of you probably don't even know about them unless they happened in your families. And depending on how distant you are from you, like, so if you're among the cousins and dozens, you may not know even though it happened in your family. But I do the pre and post. I do the premarital. I do the nikah. I do the post when they have the problems and run into the pit holes and pit stops, potholes and speed bumps and all the other stuff that, like, mashallah, makes us, a little uncomfortable in life. And it's the same thing over and over and over again, 9 times out of 10. And you know where the problem is? You people don't even did you even was there a process for you to get married? Did you people seriously think about this? Because there's some obvious issues here. Right from the very beginning. It took me all to 3 minutes and I just met you people. Your family members have had to have seen it. You had to have seen it. Oh, but here's the problem, isn't it? You will only see it if you're looking through the lens of Islam. If you are looking through the lens of this dunya, then initially you'll feel like, mashallah, good decision, good match. Look at him or her. Because now it's like a CV, isn't it? You're applying for marriage. You're smiling because you know it's right. You know it's true. You are applying for marriage. I submitted 3 applications this week. I'm waiting to get a call back in an interview. Right? You get the second interview? Oh, Allahu Akbar Kabira. Like, oh, this might be the one. Right? Subhanallah. But what's on your CV? This was your GPA in high school. This is where you went to college. This is what you graduated with. This is your graduating GPA. This is where you work. This is whether you have a house or not, cars or not, how much is in your bank account, how much you're willing to pay for the dowry, etc. What type of lifestyle are you willing to provide, etc., so on and so forth. The same thing that you would ask a non-Muslim. So what's the difference? Where is the dini aspect? Because I'm telling you, on the front lines, I am telling you, these marriages are not coming together based on deen. Convenience, family desires, wealth, future agendas and aspirations, and a lot of times it's not even the husband and the wife. It's the parents and the family members that got agendas for this newly married couple. What they're going to get out from them, and like, well, we're going to, like, you guys get stabilized, because in, 5-7 years, we're probably going to move into your house with you and all this type of stuff. So there's all this external pressure. Okay, where does this come from? Because of that secular mind. The priorities are strictly based on the dunya, not the akhirah. And I'm going to prove it tonight. I am going to prove it. I'm telling you this. I'm sitting right here in the masjid. Inshallah, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, by the fadl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I am going to prove it to you tonight. Now, granted, I'm going to tell you right now, you will likely feel a little bit disturbed and uncomfortable by the time I finish that program this evening. Because you are going to you're going to either, A, you're going to lie to yourself and you're going to self-justify, or you're going to have to face some very serious issues within your thought processes and in your understanding of your worldview and how you perceive everything that is happening around us. Because right now, for the most part, it is not based on Islam. It's not culture, personal preference, governments, familial pressures or preferences, my nafs, the influence of shaitan, society and societal norms. Oh, subhanallah. It's a long list of possibilities. But just like when we take an exam, right? You ever thought about this? Especially for the college students, high school students, guys are getting out from now, mashallah. Hopefully you did well this year, academic year. You ever think about this? You're taking an exam, which is what we're doing in essence, right? This is Darul Imtihan. This is the realm where we do what? We're being tested. Do you ever think about this? When you take a test, there's usually how many right answers? How many? One. how many wrong answers are possible? You got to make an argument for infinite. So how many right answers? One. That's how the teacher grades the paper. How many wrong possibilities? Arguably infinite. Now we're dealing with 7-8 billion people on the planet. Okay. Now you look at this, the norms in human society, even if we just we isolated to just in the US. So if you look at the norms within United States, American lifestyle and society, social norms, how many of those are in line with our deen, with the Sunnah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with the Amr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How much? If you have to even give a percentage to it. Exactly. And that's the reason why you're shaking your heads. Because you understand, just like I understand, that it is not based on Islam. So we cannot have Islamic expectations from this society. Because the underpinnings, the foundation is based on kufr and shirk. Now, if we take those same actions, same understandings, and same worldview, then by default, we have placed ourselves on that foundation. Not the foundation of Islam, because it's done differently over here. Do you want to die standing on the wrong foundation? Do you want to die living a lifestyle that is contradictory to Islam? Do you want to have a worldview and a personal understanding, your own perception, subjective as it might be? Do you want to have it based on the deen of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam or the societal norms of non-Muslims? How they gauge success and failure, how they establish their priorities, how they make their decisions, how they view life and death, how they view family, how they view marriage, how they view community. So the question for you and I during these Ayyamul Hajj, are you ready to go meet Allah? Oh, Allah did not accept me for Hajj. The invitation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't come. There very well may be another invitation coming for you. And trust me, when Allah ta'ala sends this messenger with that invitation, you cannot deny that invitation. Because it's Malakul Maut. And he's not saying, would you like to go? He's saying, you must go with me now. Time is over. No more decisions, no more changes. You can't fix anything. No more istighfar, no more tawbah. It's over. Are we ready? If the answer is no, your Hajj and Hajj season from this day forward should never be the same. Because regardless of if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes you or not, you are here and you understand that this is all about meeting Allah. And I may do that today. Skip Hajj, straight to Allah. It's a very real possibility. That's the reason why. What is one of the high, if you want to say the crown jewel of the benefits of Hajj? What would you say it is? Maghfirah. It's like my Allah sent me back. Some don't make it. Some go for Hajj. And like I said, historically, this used to be not as rare. It was a frequent occurrence. You'd be leaving from different parts of the world, traveling for months, if not years, to reach your destination. Then you got to do the round trip back. You're dealing with bandits. You're dealing with financial issues. You're dealing with health issues. So when you left your family, literally you are leaving like you're not coming back. How many people leave like that today? Kiss your wife, kiss your kids, tell your family members you love them, tell your parents you love them if they're still alive, tell them you're going to make dua for them, but do not expect me back. I'm going to meet my Allah. If I come back, that is only by the decision, the decree of my Allah. If you go with this, trust me, you will not be sitting there taking selfies, worried about your social media posts, and buying things from the market, which now, by the way, is like completely, we are under siege. Haramain is under siege. Surrounded. You got to get through that now to focus on ibadah. The same way we're here, we got to get through whatever it is, our mundane activities and our normal day-to-day routines to focus on these days of Hajj, because even though we didn't go, we still need that maghfirah. And even though we didn't go for Hajj, Allah Ta'ala may call us towards him today. We beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prepare us for this inevitable meeting with him, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring our worldview and our subjective perception in line with the Quran and the Sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our families during these days of Hajj, before and after. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of our ibadat, bring the ummah, the hearts of the ummah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam together, and help us in all of our various difficulties that we are facing as an ummah. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakallah khairun jaza wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Requesting everybody to stand up and give some space to brother who is standing outside on the park in the hallway foyer area, so we can have them sit down, inshallah. There's plenty of space on your left and right. Most of the time people looking forward, if you look at your left and right, there's always a space available. So jazakumullah khairan. Couple of important announcements, inshallah. As you know that Masjid Khuda and surrounding suburbs, we follow for our Eid Salahs, Chicago Halal Committee. So Chicago Halal Committee has announced that Eid will be on Monday, inshallah, as you know that. So our prayers will be on Monday, not in Masjid. It's going to be in Hanover Park District, starting 6:30, 8:30, and 10:15. Parking will be available in the Metra, and if you have a handicap sticker, you will be allowed to get inside the parking lot, and you can park there, or you can drop your elderly. If you don't have a parking sticker for the handicap, you can drop them at by the handicap area or by the entrance of the park district, and then you can go ahead and park. And there's going to be plenty of shuttles running back and forth, inshallah. So again, the flyers are there, and also on social media, you can find the information about Eid Salah. Then again, tonight, inshallah, Shaykh Khalid Herrington will be talking about a topic which is, would you marry him?
I got you.
All right. Thank you.
I'm not going to make you do it like you did the first one.
No, thank you, Shaykh.
And plus, I did most of it already. So, so they hear about marriage, right? So, would you marry him? So I'm going to actually bring a case study in front of you, okay? This is going to be hard and fast. So we will start on time, inshallah. So after Maghrib Salat, we will start. I am only going to talk for 30 minutes. That's it. Okay? So not an hour long, oh my gosh. Woo. Only 18 minutes to go. No. I'm telling you up front, okay? With the timer and everything, 30 minutes. All right? After that, open for discussion, Q&A, etc., snacks and whatnot. But as far as content-wise, mashallah, 30 minutes. It's an easy thing to do. You come from Maghrib Salat, inshallah, bidhnillahi ta'ala, get the barakah and the reward for Salat with the Jama'ah. And then, mashallah, we'll have the program. Hopefully, Allah ta'ala will give all of us the benefit from that as well. And mashallah, we go home and start our weekend on a positive note, inshallah. Jazakumullah.
All right. Then tonight, as I've been announcing about distributing the Eid gift basket to our neighbors. So alhamdulillah, we did that last weekend, last Friday actually. We were supposed to deliver it last Sunday, but the participation wasn't there. So tonight, inshallah, after Asr, we are meeting in the basement. We have a lot of people who have registered online but didn't show up last time. So make sure if you registered, please show up. We need some adults to accompany the young ones because we are going door to door. So we have created 10 teams which will be distributing Eid gift basket to the neighbors. So masjid neighbors, not your neighbors, masjid neighbors. So make sure that you show up at 6:30 and help and support this task and cause, inshallah. Parking lot. So you will see. Actually, we are doing a striping and blacktop on our parking lot A, B, and part of the C. So if you see over the weekend, right, inshallah, it will start Sunday. We will start blocking certain areas of the parking lot. If it's been blocked through the cones or by the gate closure, do not try to open and try to get in, because there is a reason for us why we are closing that area, because that person the company who's doing the blacktop and striping, they need that area to be cleaned and do their job. So make sure, please, if you see certain areas are blocked, please make sure you do not pass that. Then, if you know, we did last weekend, we did our basketball event for the youth and adults. Now, the next session will be on June 22nd in Schaumburg Park District. June 22nd for volleyball for the girls, sisters, and the boys will be doing the basketball second session. So inshallah, you have all the, if you don't have the information, it's on our WhatsApp group or YouTube or Facebook, you name it, everywhere, even on Instagram. So you can register yourself to do a basketball or volleyball for sisters only. So 22nd, make sure you join, inshallah. Last but not the least, please do not forget to donate generously. We need your help and support in namaz janaza after Jummah Salah. Assalamu alaikum.
This is a big deal. I know you just ran over the. There's a salat al-janaza after the salat. If you have the time, this is the haqq of a Muslim. Okay, the more of us are here making dua for the deceased, the better. And it is also, there's a special fadila for doing this on Yom al-Jumu'ah as well. Okay, so I know, like, you looking like, oh, they'll stay, like, but let you and I, inshallah, be counted amongst those who stay, inshallah, to help fulfill the haqq of this Muslim who has passed away.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا بين يدي الساعة من يطيع الله ورسوله فقد رشد ومن يعص فقد غوى. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. أما بعد، قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن الكريم: والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: إنما بعثت لمكارم الأخلاق، أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام: أستغفر الله لي ولكم أجمعين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونشكره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد عبدك وحبيبك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وأزواجه وذرياته وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم اغفر لنا وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات يا مثبت القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك، يا مصرف القلوب صرف قلوبنا على طاعتك. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم. اللهم إنا نسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة، ونسألك من فضلك يا ذا الفضل العظيم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك يا رب العالمين. عباد الله رحمكم الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. وأقيموا الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
استووا واعتدلوا. Please make sure that your rows are straight, there are no gaps in between you, and that your cell phones are turned off. Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إذا زلزلت الأرض زلزالها وأخرجت الأرض أثقالها وقال الإنسان ما لها يومئذ يصدر الناس أشتاتا ليروا أعمالهم فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة شرا يره. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. أنهاكم التكاثر حتى زرتم المقابر كلا سوف تعلمون ثم كلا سوف تعلمون كلا لو تعلمون علم اليقين لترون الجحيم ثم لترونها عين اليقين ثم لتسألن يومئذ عن النعيم الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله 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 استغفر الله استغفر الله استغفر الله لا إله إلا الله. Okay. Inshallah, please make a dua for the Shifa of Dr. Khurshid Ahmed. And then there is a long list here. Subhanallah, keeps getting longer. Please, inshallah, as we're making dua, there is so many hadith about the power of the dua of a Muslim for another Muslim when that Muslim isn't present. Another thing is when you are making dua in solitude by yourself with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we emphasize, like, overemphasize, like after salat, and this is like you alone with Allah, you have a tremendous ability to help another Muslim. Do not underestimate it and absolutely don't undervalue it, inshallah. اللهم اغفر لنا وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات اللهم لا سهل إنما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا اللهم لا عيش إلا عيش الآخرة اللهم إنا نسألك حسن الخاتمة اللهم بارك لنا في الموت وفيما بعد الموت اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من عذاب القبر اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من عذاب جهنم اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من فتنة المحيا والممات اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من فتنة المسيح الدجال صلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Family member, come forward, please. Photo.
Should I explain the procedure? Do you have to explain the procedure? Yes. Yes, sir. जी राष्ट्रप्रधान के बारे में जी अच्छा वो 2 मिनट हमारे वो असल में my father here.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Just to mention whose janaza is this. Brother Mirza Ismail Beg, but is known as Sabir Bhai. Sabir Bhai, Asian food. He was one of the pioneers from early 70s in the halal market. When the people cannot get any halal meat in 70s, he was one of the person who brought halal meat in the entire Chicagoland area, not only suburbs, all the way from Chicago to the entire Chicagoland area. His contribution to this masjid, because the many people are newcomers, so they do not know who contributed what to this masjid. In early stage, when the masjid was, there was nothing in this masjid, there was nothing, there was only house behind it. Every fundraising dinner, the ticket was sold through Asian food. His contributions towards selling those tickets, trying to get the money, not only that, his participations, whether he's using his facility, using his cooler, freezer, what we did for the masjid, any events we did for the masjid. So his contribution is great for this community when the early stage, when this masjid was developing. He was in a business, there is a shortcomings, which was requested by the family, that if he has done any harm, anyway, because he was in a business. So please forgive him. It goes vice versa, but please forgive him if there's any shortcomings, which always will have something, which you are in a business, always, you will not get along always, something will be wrong. But if there's anything in your heart, please forgive him. That is one of the requests from the family. Jazakumullah khair.
अभी वक्त
ये साबिर भाई जो इस कम्युनिटी के अंदर पिछले 70s से थे, जिनकी कंट्रीब्यूशन इस कम्युनिटी के लिए बहुत बड़ी है, इस मस्जिद के लिए खास तौर से बहुत है। जिस अर्ली स्टेज में जब ये मस्जिद डेवलप हो रही थी उस जमाने में, और हलाल मार्केट भी जिस वक्त कोई एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता था, इस पूरे 60-70-100 मील के रेडियस में ये हलाल मीट लाने में वाले पहले शख्स थे जिन्होंने हलाल मीट यहाँ ला के हलाल मीट बेचा। इनकी पहले एडिशन में दुकान थी, बाद एशियन फूड यहाँ आई, एंड देन ये उस जमाने की दुकान है। तो इनकी बहुत सारी कंट्रीब्यूशन है, और ख़ास तौर से उनकी फैमिली ने जो रिक्वेस्ट किया है कि अगर उनसे कोई गलती हुई हो किसी भी मामले में, दुकानदारी के मामले में, किसी भी मामले में, तो उनको माफ़ कर दे, और अगर उसके बाद भी कोई फाइनेंशियल ऑब्लिगेशन है तो उनके साहबजादे यहाँ हैं, इनसे कांटेक्ट करें। जज़ाकुमुल्लाह खैर।
I just have one request, is that the nephew of the deceased is on a wheelchair. If you can kindly make some room for him to come to the front. Just a request, please. The nephew of the deceased. And any nephew, Rasha bin, inshallah. So just to explain the procedure, we're praying Janazah Salah without ruku and sujood with 4 takbirat and a taslima. So the first takbir is the takbirat al-tahrima as usual, and after that we'll recite the thana. The difference in Salatul Janazah is we will add wajalla thana'uka, and then the second takbir in which we'll recite Salat al-Ibrahimiyya. The third takbir, which will be a dua, the general long dua, Allahumma ighfir li hayyina wa mayyitina, that long dua. And if you don't know that dua, then we can recite a simple dua, Allahumma ighfir lahu warhamhu. If you don't know that dua, then any other dua that we know, we can recite inshallah. Then the fourth takbir, and after the fourth takbir is the 2 taslims. जनाजा नमाज क्या तरीक़ा कि हम जनाजा नमाज पढ़ेंगे बिला रुकू बिला सुजूद, 4 तकबीरात और 2 तस्लीमों के साथ। पहले तकबीर के बाद जिस तरह आम तौर पे हम सना पढ़ते हैं वही पढ़ेंगे। फ़र्क ये है कि वजल्ला सनाउका वला इलाहा गैरुक हम इजाफा करेंगे। दूसरे तकबीरा के बाद सलात इब्राहिमिया जो हम नमाज में पढ़ते हैं, और तीसरा तकबीरा दुआ होगा। उमूमन जो दुआ होती है अल्लाहुम्मा इग़फिर li hayyina wa mayyitina, वो लंबी दुआ है। अगर वो याद ना हो तो एक सिंपल सा दुआ है अल्लाहुम्मा इग़फिर लहू वरहमहू, अल्लाहुम्मा इग़फिर लहू वरहमहू। अगर ये भी याद ना हो तो जो भी दुआ हम पढ़ सकते हैं। 4th तकबीरा होगा, फिर 2 तस्लीमात। And we make niyat for praying janaza for a adult male. Niyat करें कि एक मर्द के लिए जनाजा नमाज। Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum. Just to remind that we are going to the Elgin Bluff City Cemetery in Elgin. We are not going to follow the procession, so please just reach there in your own cars, inshallah.